This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Today's reflection is from Matthew 16:21 through 28. There are times in our lives that what we expect is not what we receive. Throughout life, I've often referred to these type of situations as reality checks. When those things happen, I'm reminded of the chorus of "You Can't Always Get What You Want" by the Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes, well, you might find you get what you need. Today's gospel begins by directing your attention to the context in which it was delivered. Last week, Peter speaks on behalf of all of the disciples and confesses to Jesus, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." This is a pivotal moment. They have all come to understand Jesus is God in human flesh. He is the promised Messiah. It's an aha moment they've been waiting for. Any doubts regarding who Jesus is have disappeared. For 2 years plus, they've been witness to his miracles, heard his teachings, traveled with him practically 24/7, and now they know. It's a moment of divine revelation and clarity. They completed part of their journey with Jesus and look ahead to the future they've envisioned. That Jesus is the Messiah, who came to establish a kingdom, save all of Israel, and Israel will become the most powerful nation in the world. The Messiah will reign in Jerusalem over Israel and extend that reign to the entire world. This is the moment of euphoria. And then Jesus begins to tell his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem, undergo great suffering at the hands of the elders and chief priests and scribes, be killed, and on the third day be raised. They soon realize that new realities exist that don't coincide with what they believe the future held. What Jesus told them was so contrary to what they believed and hoped for, what they expected of the Messiah, that Peter takes Jesus aside and says, "God forbid it, Lord, this must never happen to you." But Jesus tells Peter, it is Peter who doesn't have it right. That Peter, and in essence, many, are setting their minds not on divine things, but on human things. There has to be a cross before there would be a crown. God requires the cross. And then he continues with another reality, as he tells his disciples, if any to include them as well, want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who will lose their life for my sake will find it. And they know exactly what Jesus is saying. This is going to cost them everything. This includes suffering. There is no negotiation about this. We accept Christ on his terms. There's no glory yet. Personal wealth and prosperity, forget it. Reality has a way of opening our eyes. Think about some of your aha moments and what happened when a new reality was revealed to you. Following Jesus is a choice. And in his teaching the disciples, Jesus tells them his love for them is so great that he will be crucified so that they and all believers may be saved. For our salvation. And then he asked them a question that cuts deep. What is the value of this gift I'm offering you of salvation? Is it valuable enough that you would give up everything, even to death? I do believe as Christians at some point we have all said yes. We will follow you, Jesus. But have we made a decisive commitment no matter what the cost? That is what Jesus challenges us with in today's gospel. That's our reality check. How committed are you? Do you dip your toes in the water? Do you wade out a bit? Or do you jump in totally immersed? It's going to cost you something when you follow him. As I was finalizing my reflections to share with you, I thought back to a conversation Ron and I recently had with some friends that revolved around the cost of something and what we're willing to pay. I shared with them a story from my banking days. Now, our bank's main office was in downtown Peoria, and our competitor down the street had just installed a new sign on top of their building. It was impressive. It was illuminated at night, and coming across the river, it definitely got your attention. Our owners were from Chicago and drove down once a month for our meetings. They would not stop talking about that sign. After about a 30-minute discussion, I said, we could put up a similar sign. And then I told them the cost of the other bank's sign. You see, I served on a board with my counterpart from that bank, and he shared with me what they spent. Reality check. I can still see the expressions on our owners' faces as one of them whistled and said, "Well, it is a nice sign." And the other one said, "No, we're not spending that." It was never talked about again. I share that story with you this morning in closing, as I'd like you to think about the question Jesus asked in today's gospel. As Christians, when looking to the cross, our sign of how much God loved us, the suffering and sacrifice of Jesus, do we respond with, "Nice sign, salvation is a free gift," and go on with our daily activities? Or do we respond, "I give everything on this earth that I have to Him for His glory"? To God be the glory.